It's Monday and I'm back to welcome you to the 22nd floor for some more Football Spy. My thanks to Neil and Simon for looking after you last week. This week have we got some issues for you. First of all, Arsenal fans, I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you that in their current form your side just cannot win the title. No chance. Perhaps Fabregas getting injured yesterday is a blessing in disguise because now surely Wenger will bring in some reinforcements. He can't possibly rely on Jack Wilshere or Aaron Ramsey in central midfield. Also, fresh blood is needed at the back and up front. I'll be amazed if Arsenal were not the busiest Premier League club in the January transfer window. Same goes for Man City. With the club in the bottom three, Mark Hughes' job now hinges on the players that he buys next month. Never mind all this caca nonsense and Rocky Santa Cruz. City need defenders. We know he's after Luizão at Benfica. He also needs to look far and wide for more reinforcements because he needs to give Michael Richards a long rest. Judging by his performance yesterday against West Brom, Richards has let all the hype about him go to his head. He was shocking and perhaps he needs to stop taking his place in the Man City side for granted. Let's have a look at the papers. The Star has Mark Hughes disagreeing with chants from the West Brom fans at the game yesterday. In fact, one other point on City, they've been saying that they won't get ripped off in the January transfer window, but with Hughes' job on the line and the club in the bottom three, I could see them paying well over the odds to persuade the quality players they want to even think about coming to the club. The Sun has Sol Campbell telling the Portsmouth board to sort out the problems on the field. Under Harry, they had class on the pitch regardless of the politics. Under Tony Adams, well, you Portsmouth fans, you're in a right old mess. Diarra's gone to Real Madrid. And although Adams talks a good game, it looks like the rest of the top players at the club are all off too. Johnson, Crouch, Defoe and David James all look to be on their way to Spurs. Well, I can tell you that more than a few people are looking at the midfielder Nico Cranshaw. I've been doing a bit of sniffing around myself on our own Football Spy page. And I can tell you that Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa is moving in for Craig Bellamy at West Ham. I'm not sure what it is about Bellamy that everyone loves so much, but West Ham fans, you look like losing most of your top players next month in the January transfer window. Bellamy said something very interesting in an interview on Friday. He said that because the club are going to be under new ownership, possibly by the end of this season, why should he stay and commit himself to Upton Park? And I'll tell you something, I make him right on that because his situation is very much up in the air. Man City came in for him in the summer with a £7.5 million bid. That was turned down by West Ham, but I think they might have to listen to offers again. I also think players like Robert Green, Matthew Upson and Scott Parker will be thinking exactly the same thing. The Sun, they agree with me about Mark Hughes being bang in trouble. Also, they say that David Villa, although his quality, he's got to be getting players in defence because their defensive record at Eastlands is absolutely shocking. Now, no messages today, but for those of you who reckon I was off skiving last week, I know who you are. In fact, instead of your messages, I'm going to get a few more things off my chest. People are writing off Aston Villa for the title, but nobody in the so-called top four is winning league games at the moment. Chelsea's home record is nowhere near as good as it was under Jose Mourinho. Rafa is way too negative at Liverpool, and Sir Alex Ferguson doesn't seem to know his best strike force. So why can't Villa be a decent outside bet for the title? They do need good players though. And then our own Football Spy page, O'Neill is moving for Bellamy at West Ham. Also, Emil Heskey from Wigan. Tell me, Villa fans, are they good signings for you? And before I get to a few more papers, Spurs fans, is it time to end the ridiculous loan spell of Fraser Campbell in January, or would you keep him? Also, this rumour about Pavlyuchenko being moved on to raise cash just 6 months after signing from Spartak Moscow refuses to go away. Would you keep him or would you let him go? Very interesting when you spend a few days away, how you can see that this window is going to be far, far busier than many people are making out. Let's look at some more papers. I like this match report in The Independent about my team, Liverpool. It's spot on. We were too scared to win yesterday, even though Arsenal had 10 men. Rafa is way too negative to win the title. I hear that we're looking at Aaron Lennon at Spurs, but if I were Lennon, I would stay put rather than go to Anfield, get messed around like Robbie Keane, pull faces when I'm taken off, but then when people speculate about me leaving, come out in the press and accuse them of judging me too soon. The Times is always good on a Monday morning, and this match report from Fulham's 3-0 win over Borough on Saturday suggests that the London side are standing firm about not wanting to break the bank to keep Jimmy Bullard at the club, even though he was excellent on the day. Jimmy Bullard, he's got 18 months left to run on his current contract, and he is a good player, but his form went off the boil a bit when he was called up for England earlier this season. I just wonder how he would cope if he were to go to a Spurs or a Newcastle. You just wonder whether playing with a club with a bigger profile might affect his form. Before I go, just a quick something for you that I'm after. I want to know what you think your team or one of your team's players needs for Christmas, their ideal Christmas presents. It could be anything, I don't really mind, but post on YouTube and on the Daily Mirror channel, youtube.com/Daily Mirror, or on the Spy blogs page. Tell me what's on your wish list, and as usual, I'll read the best ones out. That's all for now. It's good to be back. Football Spy is back tomorrow on Christmas Eve with a very special Christmas message on Christmas Day and on Boxing Day. I'll see you then.